Hello and welcome to the Veterans Rally Point Podcast, the podcast created by veterans for veterans and their families. And now, from the Easterseals Veterans Rally Point studios in Norwich, Connecticut, here are your hosts.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Veterans Rally Point, program of the Easterseals region, Eastern Connecticut. And today, Kat Zickwolf, I'm going to be kind of running point on it. And we've got Ben, we've got Russ, we've got Tom. So we're going to have them quickly introduce themselves. I was Army from 88 to 97, started out linguist, ended up in Korea infantry, had a ball. Did everything wrong and got the scars to prove it. All right. And so Ben's going to tell two lines about himself.
My name is Ben. I joined the Army as actually an 89 Delta. I failed out of that, and then I got reclassed to needs of the Army. That's very scary to hear. And I became a 25 uniform where I got to learn radios and computers, and now I'm in manufacturing.
Oh, you're lucky not to end up a gas jockey with that. So, then we got Russ on remote.
Hello there. I was in the Navy, 67 to 71. I was a tack and repairman, black box man, and I worked on 535 of those things. It was a microwave unit, and our helos and the fixed wing had them. Kept me busy.
And then our guest of honor tonight, we've got Tom. So Tom, tell us a little about yourself.
How you doing? I'm Thomas C. Long Sr. I'm the CEO and founder of Apex Business Alliance. I want to thank each and every one of my fellow veterans for being on here today. Thank you for your service and welcome home. I did my service in the Army National Guard from 2003 to 2009. So 6 total years. My deployments in the infantry were in 2005 and 2008 with the 56th Stryker Brigade out of Pennsylvania.
All right. So Tom's here. We decided we're just going to go hard at a very rough topic. There's 22 suicides a day in the veteran community. I'm sure it's much higher than that. And if you don't count people that are trying to kill themselves slowly, it's probably 5 times that high. So he's decided he's just going to throw it all out there, and he's going to tell us his story, some of the rough stuff he's been through, and then we're going to flip the script and say how he was able to turn things around for himself. So go ahead, Tom. We're going to have you just start telling us the downslope, and then we'll take a break and we'll cover the upslope.
Roger that. Not a problem at all. I appreciate it. Yes, I'm very grateful to be able to be here today at Veterans Rally Point and talk about what I've been through. So those out there that are going through something similar or have been through something similar know that they're not alone. That's really why I'm talking about it. Not because I want to talk about myself or what the situation is, because a lot of situations that people are in that have gone through what I have with PTSD, I'm 100% permanent and total service-connected disabled through the VA for my PTSD alone. That's nothing else, just with PTSD first and foremost. I'm a 3-time suicide survivor. I'm a former raging alcoholic. I was bedridden for 7.5 years with all the different types of injuries and the depression, which led into obesity and overeating. It continued. The SSRIs drove me deeper. It was just one thing after another. I lost my father in 2006. My marriage, I lost my first marriage. I lost 9 children. We lost 9 children during that time. We were just, chromosomally incompatible. It was just bad. A lot of the things that we were told was, due to some of the vaccines that we were given, that could have affected it. Who knows? We don't know. But going through that isn't easy for anybody. Then, laying there in bed, feeling like you can't do anything, you can't go anywhere, you're nobody cares, and everybody's leaving you. Buried close to 70 soldiers since I've come home. DUIs that turned into
what was and from what? That's key point that
alcohol abuse, drug abuse, suicide, all of these different things. I know you use the number 22 a day because that's the number that everybody has heard from the VA, because the VA will not identify certain deaths as suicide.
Well, drinking
If
yourself to death takes a long time, and they don't count that in the numbers, and that's
it
a lot of
does.
us. Yeah.
It does, and it doesn't have to be. If I was to sit here and drink straight liquor and whatnot and kill myself with that, they wouldn't consider it. They would
Nope.
consider it alcohol poisoning. They wouldn't
Yeah.
say that alcohol poisoning was suicide. They would just clarify it as alcohol poisoning to keep it off of that number, so that number doesn't go up. Because then if they can change that number, it
Oh,
makes
yeah.
the VA look good. So that's what that's all about in that area, and then losing those soldiers wasn't just the soldiers themselves. It's the families that get left behind, the
Mhm.
children, the wives, the moms, the dads, those things. And then going through all of that, the fellow soldiers that wind up calling you when you're down, and that you want to help because you don't want to leave anybody behind. It's what we're taught. But sometimes that adds on to your shoulders and it brings you down where you're going through. When I was starting to just try to rise every once in a while, I'd wind up back at the VA going through a session, and it would be a new therapist. 15 different therapists I went through in the time period that it took me to get to my rating and all the different things that I was going through, because the VA just cycles through people all of the time, which makes it difficult.
Yeah, they move to a different department, or they get married, they get bounced, their rotation is ending. Yeah, and you literally just dumped your guts, and they're like, okay, well, I've made some notes, and we're going to forward them to so and so, and they're going to talk to you and figure out who's going to intake you. And you're like, that there's no end to this intake process. It just keeps ripping your guts out every time. So I'm very familiar with that,
Yes.
and it's hard, especially if you haven't learned how to balance yourself after these things.
That's right.
I would take a year to recover after an attempt to get help. And when they blow you up and they're like, no, we don't, come back when you're worse, because right now you don't meet our criteria, or
Right.
our group is full. So,
Yeah.
when there's an empty chair, we'll reach out to you.
Who wants to
And you're
talk in a group, though? To be honest, I'm gonna
Well-
talk about myself. I didn't want to talk in a group. All right. So, what about you, Russ? In which direction would you turn in a group setting? Would you want to be in a group talking about what you went through?
I have no idea. I had a good time when I was in the Navy, and nothing dark happened to me.
Okay. What about you, Ben?
Well, I've done different group settings in the VA. I've tried regular rehab, and then I've tried the VA rehab. And something I realized, like, I had to force myself to talk in groups, and I didn't really like it. I understand why there's a fear of public speaking while a one-on-one, or I ask people, like, do you have a conversation with your dog? And they're like, yes, all the time. And I'm like, maybe I need a dog instead of a therapist. And I
There you
think that
go.
might be, I don't have the schedule for it. But I heard, like you said, you were a raging alcoholic.
Yes.
Why do you say that? And was there a low point somewhere in that alcoholism journey?
100% there was. There was a reason why I drank, and I drank to be able to black out every day. I drank.
Wow.
I woke up every morning and I started drinking right away. I drank more than anybody knew because I hid it. I drank mainly clear liquor all day long until then I was with my friends and family, where I drank all night long, out at the bars, spending obscene amounts of money. And the extreme lowest point was November 11th of 2017, when my wife and I went to a friend's wedding. I went there and I put down, I think she said, close to 11 pitchers of beer, by myself. And I was doing shots and car bombs and all kinds of stuff. I got blackout drunk while I was there. Apparently, I was cursing at her, screaming at her, and I went to jump out of the car, and she grabbed the seatbelt as I leaped out the car, telling her I didn't want to live anymore. I wanted to die. And I got halfway out the car, and she pulled me back in. I fought and jumped out a second time. So, and went apparently tumbling down the side of the road at 70 miles an hour. It is what it is. God was with me. And like I said,
was that a wake-up call for you, or that just was one of things that got
that was the
you?
last time that I tried to take my own life. That was she was 7 months pregnant.
Oh, my gosh.
Gee. Oh
I
my
bet
God.
you.
I didn't know any of this even happened. I don't remember any of it at all whatsoever. So it only goes off of her story. I don't remember jumping out of the car. I don't remember getting hurt. I don't remember getting home. I don't remember nothing.
Oh,
Till the
So
next
now, how
morning.
did you clear all that? The when you came out of that, the next days of it, how did you reset or reframe yourself?
So
What made that your
when I
last
woke
time?
up, when I woke up, she literally told me what happened, and I could see the fear and the in her tears and
Yeah.
her crying, the depression and the feelings behind how sad she was, the sadness there. And I literally looked at her and said, I will never touch alcohol again. I know most people can't do that. I know that's not common, but I looked at her and I told her that, and I've never touched alcohol again. I'm 9 years sober.
Wow.
This November coming up. No, this will be, 9 years. This November will be my sobriety on November 12th.
Oh, commendable.
Thank you.
And did you
Appreciate
supplement it with other life changes as well, I assume? Or tell us a little bit about how
It
did you?
started going down that direction towards life changes, but it was just one thing after another. You know, the enemy had a hold on me and didn't want to let me go. So after the alcohol continued with the food, I kept figuring out ways to make myself not feel right and be worse. I just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and everything to the point to where I didn't want to live on a daily basis. No matter if my wife was with me, no matter if my son was with me, no matter if anybody was with me, I didn't want to live. I felt I was a waste of space, and my family would be better off with the money and the extra space without me in it and being a burden. I constantly felt like a burden.
Well, and do you think that part of that comes from military? We're trained that, if you're not up to the standards, you're not marching at pace. You fall back, you fall out, you get out of the way. You're suboptimized.
Either high speed, low drag.
Exactly. And do you think that weighed in on your hey, I am now low speed, high drag. I'm the anchor. I need to cut. Do you think that was part of your mentality going into that? And
100%. 100%. It's built into us. That's exactly the way that we get trained for decades when we're in there, years that we're in there. And we're put at the forefront of some of the most horrific, fast-paced situations that any human ever faces. And I don't mean each and every one of us have to go through that, but some of us wind up seeing those things, going through those things, being a part of those things, understanding and knowing what the other ones went through. It's not easy. But then to come home and feel lost because you couldn't get a job, you didn't know what industry to go into, nobody wanted to hear you, nobody has morals or honor or integrity or work ethic.
How to move with a purpose. Yeah.
Right.
Well, and the other thing is we update our camouflage to blend in, but it doesn't mean we're integrated.
That's right.
I found that a real struggle. And then like you're saying how the meds made things worse. A lot of veterans need to hear that. Sometimes the meds, it's the wrong med. It can make things worse. And sometimes it's great for 6 months and then something changes.
Right.
So for those out there watching,
they don't even know that the VA changed the generic or the name brand or went to a different medication because that one stopped being available or whatever. And they're just taking them because the VA is sending them to them. They just trust. We have trust. Because when we're in the military, we know when we go to med bay or sick bay or something like that, we're being taken care of because they know they need to get us back out on the battlefield or they need to get us back.
And the other thing I would throw out there to the viewers is check your medical records, because sometimes what they tell you is not what they're writing. And you end up you're on a different rabbit hole than what you've been led to believe. Because that's happened a couple times where they had diagnosed me with something entirely different, but they weren't telling me because they didn't want me to act up. So I've been in a lot of the same predicaments. So check you go on to My Healthy Vet online for those who haven't done it before, and start reading up and be informed in your own care. It'll help you be a better advocate for yourself. You'll be able to ask more informed questions. So life changes. You obviously lost some weight. So how did you come to these little incremental changes? What's the next increment on your recovery?
So really getting from where I was to where I needed to be, my wife and my son were very meaningful in the direction that I went to, because I went to my VA appointments, and it was July of 2022, and the doctor told me that my liver enzymes were through the roof, that my liver was going in the direction of cirrhosis, and I was in denial. I'm like, I don't drink. I haven't drank in years, so there ain't nothing wrong with it. But it was from obesity. Don't believe all the myths that the only thing that can affect your liver is the alcohol. When you're overweight that big, it affects everything. It affects your muscles. It affects your skeletal. It affects your head, because all of your neurotransmitters are created in your gut. So if your gut ain't right and your liver ain't right, your head ain't right. So the more crap you put in your food, the more it affects down here, which affects up here. So I did a lot of my own research, a lot of my own looking into things, and taking the proper probiotics helped me lose weight, helped me get my mind right and get to where I needed to be, because of the grace of God and the love of this woman that is taking care of me. I'm still here. I'm moving forward. I chose to take my life back into my own hands, Ben, rather than being dedicated and needing 100%, putting everything on the VA. I chose to direct, like Kat said, my own life, take control in my own hands, walk forward. I lost 150 plus pounds because I was over 355 pounds laying in that bed. I got out of the wheelchair. I got out of the bed.
How's your liver enzymes now?
I got involved in my son's life. I got involved in my wife's life. I brought my cholesterol from 756 to 250, which is still not good, but it's a whole lot better than it was. The triglycerides were almost 800. They're now down to 250, and the liver enzymes are almost normal. So getting out there and doing what needs to be done is an area where you can find yourself up here and find yourself in here. Before we came on the screen, we were talking with Ben, and Ben was telling me about he wants to figure out where he wants to go. So if you take some time and focus on yourself and try to figure that out, you'll find out exactly where you want to be and what you want to do, and then you'll rise up to your standards.
I've been trying to take little tidbits of information from everyone, and one of the best things I heard from a tool and die maker, you could hand this guy anything you messed up, destroyed in the shop, and he would make it beautiful. He would make it work again. In his words, everything's common sense. You just haven't been taught it yet. And ever since he's told me that, that's been just ringing around in my head, because everything is common sense. I haven't learned it yet. I haven't been showed it yet.
That's
and
right.
That's been kind of life altering. And then as you're talking about changing your diet, I got to talk to a dietitian at the VA.
Okay.
And this lady gave me some of the best advice. She's vitamins and supplements, as the name implies, it's supposed to supplement what you're taking in. She's like, I have no problem with you taking that now, but try and get it from actual food. And that's, once again, that's common sense. It's something we all inherently know, but maybe I shouldn't put processed crap food into my body, and maybe I'll get some better results out. And I've been slowly cutting out energy drinks. I used to do a pot of coffee plus 2 to 3 energy drinks a day, and it's not healthy. And
it's not.
I've just been trying to slowly
It's
improve.
difficult though, because caffeine's addictive. The energy feels addictive, all those kinds of things. And even if it's not addictive where you can't break it and get away from it, because everybody's out there talking about addiction to this, to that, to this, to that, everything. It's if you're willing to let go. If you can harness your will to let go, you can move forward with anything. I'm struggling since the loss of my second father, who was the father figure in my life for 22 years. I had a father who was born in 1938, and I had a father that was born in 1947. Those two, completely different individuals. One was a hard worker, hand worker. My biological father, David P. Long Sr., was absolutely amazing. Smartest person I ever met that dropped out in 10th grade to take care of his 8 brothers and sisters. His mother forced him out of high school way back in the day. He was amazing. He was actually could build or create anything that you explained to him, but couldn't write a sentence that you could understand.
Well, and that leads me to something where we're going to take a break. But so one of the things is how to overcome these challenges is something we want to talk about in the second section. So we're going to take a quick break here, and then we'll come back and talk about how do you overcome these obstacles, whether it's what you're born into, what befalls you, and or just how do you work your way out of them. Okay, and on that, we're going to take a quick break. Thanks.
Belonging begins when you create space for individuals with autism. Belonging begins with small gestures.
Hey! Usual.
Like dimming the lights.
Yeah, it's bigger. That's way too small.
Lowering our voices. Keeping routines.
I want movie.
Shaping spaces where everyone with autism belongs. Discover ways to create belonging at Eastersealsautism.com.
Hello, we're back. And Tom is really giving us a rundown of what he did. And he did a complete turnaround. Unbelievable. It's incredible what this man's accomplished.
Well, thank
Tom,
you,
can you tell us a little bit more?
Yes, absolutely. I greatly appreciate you. Thank you for having me here. And it's wonderful to be here with you guys here on
It's wonderful
Veterans
listening to you.
Thank you, brother. So yeah, I mean, with all the obstacles that were happening, the things that were going on, everything seemed like it was just going down further and further constantly until that point when I realized that it was going to take my life. Getting to that point changed everything. So then I took in my own hands. I didn't want to use pills. I didn't want to use those lose weight quick diets or, peptides or any of the stuff wasn't there. So being pre-diabetic and all of those things, I started doing a little research into the body and figuring out what I could eat, what was going to be better, those types of things. And it helped me get involved not only in my own life, but in my fellow brothers and sisters' lives around the nation. Because veteran advocacy is something that's very near and dear to my heart. So believing that I could be the person to go out and make the difference inside of somebody else's life is what gave me drive every single day. There are individuals out there that don't even know that they're eligible for benefits. So I started helping my brothers and sisters with their VA benefits because I worked it for 20 years on my own because I didn't know any of that. I didn't know there was anything going on. I didn't know there was, issues with people trying to figure things out, trying to go down different paths that didn't know anything. Once I got up from the lowest point that I was at, I was able to move forward in those aspects. I've taken my life and I didn't fit in anywhere, Ben. I didn't have a job that made me feel good. I didn't have somewhere that I felt that it was fulfilling each day. I'm sure that Kat, you and Rich have experienced these things as well. Sometimes doing things that don't give you, that roller coaster ride, don't give you the satisfaction of what you did or feel that you're understood. So I did it on my own. I started my own business. I went out there. I created several of them and failed multiple times. Multiple times I failed. I hit the ground. But my faith and my belief in myself is what kept picking me back up.
Do you think you needed to fail in order to be where you are today? Because most people just think you need to succeed and everything will be fine. But I think you learn so much more from losing a game or failing than you'll ever do succeeding at something. And maybe that's why I'm always learning, because I'm always failing. But do you think those failures led you to who you are today?
Did it force you to reevaluate things? And what changes did you make based on that?
So you answered the question already, Ben, in your own words earlier. Common sense. You get more common sense because you finally saw what you need to do because you didn't do it before. You don't know what you don't know until you know that you didn't know it.
Common sense isn't common until it is made common. That's
right. Absolutely. So you already have the answers. You understand what you need to do. You understand where you need to go. But doing those things, yes, every time I failed, I learned something new. But the key thing that I learned is that every time I failed, I can still get up. Still keep moving forward. Be grateful for the things that you have, because there are those out there that have less than you do and become more successful.
And to the people who are struggling, they know they're like you, where they have a kid, they have a wife, they have good things, and it's just not enough. What would you tell them?
That you're not alone. Dial 215-520-8826. Give me a call. We'll have a chat. Or send me an email at tomclongsenior@gmail.com. We'll have a chat.
We'll put that on the screen for you, Tom.
Absolutely.
That's nice of you to do that.
Yeah.
And 988, for those who can't remember all that, the 988 is the talk line. They are really great people. I've used them myself, and they're good at grounding you and helping you sort your stuff out, like in the real time.
And there are a lot of resources out there that most people don't even know about. There are so many resources. There's more than 45,000 VSO nonprofits, veteran service organizations across this United States that are nonprofits that are, trying to dedicate themselves to help veterans. But the issue and problem is where we come from the largest military organization in the world, and they still do things right. It might not be the best, but they do it right. We have MOSs, we have silos, we have lanes. Stay in your lane, do your job. Don't move in. I'm infantry. I'm not coming to do Ben's job. I don't want to do communications. Ben's not going out there with his radio trying to shoot my M50. You know what I mean? My Ma Deuce. He's not out there going, like that's we don't get in each other's jobs. Wow. But here in the civilian world, everybody wants to be a one-stop shop. Everybody wants to help everybody do everything. Nobody wants to collaborate and bring each other together to be able to get there. That's what I love doing. I love bringing people together. I love changing people's lives in the point. It's one step at a time, one day at a time. It doesn't just happen and everything's given to you. Not a single time has God ever not answered my prayers, but he answers him on his timeline, not my timeline, not when I want them, not when I want it to be done, on his timeline. No matter how deep and dark it gets, he gives you what you need when you need it. And then the thing is, you have to be willing to open that door and walk through it. And it's right there in front of you.
And so tell us a little bit about what you're doing now. I mean, you've mentioned that you've got companies and stuff. Just to give us a quick rundown.
Okay. One of the things is Apex Business Alliance. I help veteran-owned businesses all over the world, and I help other small to medium-sized businesses come together inside areas like LATIP, BNI, Chambers of Commerce, something similar to that. We have the technology to be able to help them run their alliancing. I don't call them networking events anymore, because I want people to build true alliances that last, that build that perpetual economic engine for them and get things moving forward. Alliancing is the only way things are going to get done. Networking is a transactional nightmare. That's what happened. It became.
I hate doing that in business and manufacturing. Like when networking, like I understand you got to play the game. That's a part of what it is to interact with people. But I'm just like, I don't want to do this. Like, no, like I don't want to deal with you.
It's
like,
not for everyone. I did it. It was my bread and butter, but because I was good at it, but it is definitely, and nobody else wanted to do it. It was a niche thing, but I like your idea of alliances, because then, and the other thing you notice once you get into these veterans support organization or any volunteer organization, there's a lot of overlap in just membership and targeting. So a lot of times if you don't offer something, there's another organization you know of that does. Oh, I can give you this number. So when veterans reach out, you never leave them cold. You're like, I don't know, try calling somebody else. It's like, hey, you know what? I don't have the answer for that, but I know somebody who might know somebody.
That's right. Ben, so I was like you. When I started doing this, I was just like you. I didn't want to go to any of those things or do any of those things because of the way I always dressed. I don't want to put a suit on. I don't want to go get all fancy and shave and everything else. I waited 6 years to be able to grow a beard and get out of the military and all that stuff. You know, I didn't want to get all clean shaven, but you know, going in there to VFWs, American Legions, different places that I know I feel safe, that somebody's got my six. That's how I rebuilt. That's how I did the things. That's how I exposed myself. And building the alliances brings those type of collaborative people together that want to be there to help you move with the rising of the tide, to rise all boats, go in the right direction. So,
and that's why I started to come to Veterans Rally Point. I'm a loner. I don't want to do anything with anyone else. I'd rather just go do it by myself and trying to learn how to interact with people, and that at least we're in the same headspace. I know where they're coming from, but this was kind of an interesting meeting you. And I was just wondering, how did you meet Dave? Dave's been kind of the conductor behind the scenes doing all the movie magic we see. And how did you guys first meet and connect?
So through one of those networking groups, I met an individual that Dave knew that connected me, and we got together, and I got to go to an event with him and learn from his expertise and be on camera with him. Like, it's a privilege and an honor to be with someone that knows how to navigate this world with the stature and charisma that he does. Is phenomenal in the way that he handles these situations and wants to teach while he's doing it. He didn't just stand there and go, Tom, hold this camera and don't open your mouth. He's like, no, I want to do this because I want to get this. Hey, can you do this? Because this is going to give us more dynamics. Can you hold it over here? Can you do that? Like, he talks you through everything, right, Rich?
Yeah.
So many.
One amazing person.
Yes. So many people say you can't teach old dog new tricks, but Dave's learning something new every day, and he's passing it along.
Teach old dogs old tricks.
There you go. Absolutely. So it's just been absolutely amazing. And then in the veteran world, there's bigger groups and bigger organizations across the nation that are trying to do things and change things for us. The VFW, the American Legion, the DAV, Vietnam Veterans of America. There's a bunch of Gulf War organizations out there too as well. But there's a new one that's actually coming together. It kicks off in Houston, November 7th. It's called Voices of Freedom 250. What they're doing is they're going to be recording voice artifacts from 250,000 veterans, 50 states tour, 62 cities, and making a legacy album for those veteran voice artifacts, having it to where generations will be able to hear and learn from our brothers and sisters for generations to come. Doesn't matter if it's a poem, a song, a story, just your story, whatever it is that you want to say, they want to record it. They have 15,000 of them recorded already, and we haven't even launched the program. We're trying to get connected. We're going to be getting connected with the Library of Congress, and we're going to download the things that are there for the veterans into this as well and be able to upload to them as well. So we never lose these artifacts that we're gathering from those that we're losing. There's a gentleman that I just learned about, Rishi Shamra, has been spending the past 10 years recording our World War II veterans before they passed away, as many as he could. He's gotten 3,000 of them archived now on video, telling their stories. Wow. So I'm so grateful to people like that take the knowledge that we've lost and put it to good use. Put it out there, get it recorded so others can learn from the things that they went through, because that's who built this nation. 250 years this year. That's what built this nation, on the backs of individuals that took the oath to protect this country.
And that's why I personally enjoy manufacturing in the U.S. We were talking before about just the overall slow downfall of manufacturing, the enshittification, the laziness of people. And this is just over time. And now that we've lost not only the capacity to manufacture, like the physical machines we need to in order to produce things, but when you lose the machines, guess what? You also lose all the graybeards that operate those.
Yeah. Those guys are retiring right now, and they're taking all their information with us. So, and to your point, that's part of why Dave's got this whole program going to archive in our own little way these what Ben has to say, what you have to say. But yeah, we've lost the manufacturing critical mass that we used to have. So we need to get
did it on the railroad too. When I got hired on the railroad, all the 30-plus year guys were leaving because they were retiring. That's why we were doing such a huge hire. Well, you had guys that have been out there since it was $2.95 an hour when they started. Wow. When we got hired at $20 an hour. And we had guys that were getting hired with us that were complaining about those guys that had 30 years getting all the overtime. Well, dude, do you remember that these guys started working like you just started working, but they were getting paid $2.96 an hour? What are you talking about? Why aren't you getting overtime? It's the sense of entitlement in this generations that are coming up behind us that want everything handed to them, don't want to get out there and fight for it, that has changed the arc of the manufacturing, the arc of what we're doing, and the arc of why it makes sense to do it here, because we outpriced ourselves. We took advantage of what was happening, and we outpriced ourselves.
We went for the cheap, whatever we could get the lowest cost bidder for a reasonable amount of quality. And when I did a study on it, that we've got like 180 flagships. China's got thousands of them. Russia's got thousands of ships. If the merchant marine ever had to go support the Navy, we don't have any. We don't have shipyards. We don't have ships. Our port cities will be just deadlocked. And it's people don't think that far ahead with these things. It's like, no, we need a strong machining or manufacturing economy to be self-sustaining just a little bit more. It's worth
Helmets to Hard Hats is an absolute amazing organization. They bring individuals out of the military right into the union trades. These organizations are out there, and most of the veterans don't even know they exist. That's what makes us more powerful. Bringing the resources together. V2I, Vets to Industry, another awesome, amazing resource out there. And it's a nonprofit. You don't pay to be a part of these organizations. You just get the benefits. They did the work. They broke ground. They figured out the way to get you where you need to go. All you have to do is plug yourself in. Vets to Industry, V2I, Helmets to Hard Hats, Hire USA. All these different organizations are out there. So if you need something, don't sit on your third point of contact. Get up and find somebody that's willing to help you. We're out here. Don't sit back and say that you're alone, because nobody here is alone. We're a family. We all took the oath. We all signed a blank check. Whether I was in the front lines or you were back there washing clothes, you still were just as important as I was or anybody else, because you did the same thing I did. You put your hand over your heart and you swore to protect this nation from enemies, foreign and domestic. That's what you have to remember. And we're here for you. No man or woman left behind.
And something I struggle with every day is just like, yes, I know I need to do whatever I need to do to get through the end of the day, but also, what do I need to do to better myself? Like, yes, I can just go to work. Yes, I need a paycheck. Like, yes, I need to do these things. But at the end of the day, when I go home, what do I need to do for me? And I've been trying to do more leather work, trying to get that off the ground. But then I realized I was burning the candles at both ends. And when I was doing drugs, that was fine. I could do that all day. You know what I mean? But now when I'm trying to be a productive member of society, this sucks trying to burn the candle at both ends. But I'm trying not to wear myself out, but also trying to get up and okay, I'm home. Let me put on my slippers and let me go out to the shop. Let me actually continue to be productive. And
you know what's helped me
balance
in that area? What helped me in that area, what you're talking about, is the 24-hour thing. And they said it best. And I'm not trying to constantly keep going back to the Bible, but breaking it down in 8-hour segments. 8 hours for refreshments and things like that, calming yourself down, getting connected, 8 hours for work and 8 hours for sleep. Those 3 different areas there. If that during that 8 hours of refreshment is you learning a new skill, doing something that's a hobby, something that's bringing your anxiety down, do it during that time. You don't have to burn the candle to past what you need to do, but utilize your time blocking, as they call it now, correctly. And you can get more done in that manner.
Well, and you've had good success with that. Now I hear you're like a Hall of Famer or some such.
Yes,
see people who have achieved excellence.
Yep, I'm getting to head to a place that I've never been to. I've only ever dreamed of. Canton, Ohio, the NFL Hall of Fame. So being there with Dave Stevens is a true honor and blessing to be able to see him in his element, be a part of the things that are going on, have conversations with individuals that I otherwise really wouldn't have any reason to be on their level. Another divinity moment, bringing me to a place where, is beyond my reach without him is something that I really don't know how to explain other than a blessing. So getting to go there and be a part of those things is going to be phenomenal, and watch him and these guys love chatting with Dave Stevens. Everywhere I go, everybody loves chatting with him. So it's just a true blessing. He brings the whole room up to another level.
And I would throw to vets watching is take a chance if you get an opportunity to go somewhere, overcome whatever obstacles you have getting out of the door, and just get there and just do something. And a lot of times you meet somebody who knows somebody, and it turns into a whole side quest. You may not get where you're trying to go with your health and your recovery, everything, but you're not sitting on your butt. You're not going backwards. You're gaining, as you're saying, alliances and things. So, tell us a little, go ahead and promote yourself here a little bit, your business, while we're got a little bit of time left.
Yeah, Roger that. I'll jump into that. I know Ben was asking earlier about the NFL draft and my experience with Dave and things. It's just been absolutely amazing being able to be where I'm at with Bravo Foxtrot Global Media. I'm the CEO of that distribution organization. Also the owner and founder of Forward Ops Network TV, and being able to experience the things that I am with Dave and getting the hands-on is just beyond anything to be able to give me, so I have that knowledge to move forward in the industries that I'm working in. So Apex Business Alliance, National Social Media Awards, Bravo Foxtrot Global Media, and Forward Ops, those are things that I'm doing right now. But there's so much experience sitting right here in this room that you guys have, that you guys can give, and that you are opening your hearts to just by being on this screen today, that I want to say thank you for having me here and being a part of this.
It's a win-win.
Well, thank you for your time. And I've been trying in my personal, not to have a meaningless conversation. You can say, hey, how you doing every time you walk into a gas station, or actually have a conversation. Oh, my knee's killing me. And it's amazing. Different cultures have different remedies for things, and the information you can get out of people. If you're just honest about how your day's going or what's going on or how you're feeling, or, oh, my back's hurting and whatnot, it's not really feeling good. Some guy was telling me, oh yeah, he sleeps with a pillow in between his knees. I'm like, that's what my dad used to do. That's what I used to do. Maybe I need to go back to that. And it's all that little stuff you need to take up from a meaningless conversation doesn't get you anywhere. So
That's right.
I appreciate your time. And if you were to end it with a positive message to people watching, or something that you want the world to know about you, or just a good saying, like what would you want it to be, or how would you want to end the broadcast with some amazing
close us out?
You've been amazing.
Thank you, Rich. I greatly appreciate it.
I hope it rubs off on everybody, but you're truly an inspiration.
Well, I thank you for those humbling words. And, to be able to close it off, I don't have any catchy phrase. I don't have any one hit wonder that's going to fix everything or tell you how to change your lives. All I will say is never give up. Know you're not alone. The battlefield is filled with others. We're here for you. I am not here to give you a handout. But as we all went through basic training, not a single one of us went through basic training alone. When we went over those walls, our battle buddy put their hand down, picked us up, and we got over the wall together. That's what I'm here to do. I'm here to let you know that your battle buddy has not forgotten about you, that I am here, and there are others all over this nation that are here for you. And if you are someone that has suffered from losing a veteran to suicide, reach out to the Green Star Families of America. Green Star Families are here to help those families that have lost a veteran to suicide. Please reach out.
I'm hearing of it. Thank you for sharing.
Talk to your congressman, talk to your state reps, because there are legislation to be passed to get this nationally recognized. And it's important. It is not something that they are to be forgotten about. They are to be fought for. And us that are here, we're the ones that continue that fight and make sure they're not forgotten, because they had been, and that's why some of them are no longer here with us today.
So true. So true.
Well said. Well said.
Thank you so much for sharing your afternoon with us. Russ, how about you close us out, since you had the smaller portion here?
Well, this has been a wonderful experience. I hope the recording equipment is working top notch, because this man has really unloaded a whole lot of good ideas on all of us. Thank you. I appreciate it very much, Tom.
Thank you, brother. God
All
bless.
right. And thanks again from Veterans Rally Point. I salute you. Take care, everybody. Good night.
Thank you for watching or listening to the Veterans Rally Point podcast. For more information or to help us out, please visit veteransrallypoint.com and support these wonderful veterans. Thank you for watching, America.